When it comes to programming, crashes are often inevitable. However, most programming languages have preventative measures in place. With Swift optionals, you can separate the good code from the bad to prevent unintentional events from happening in your programs. As you have learned previously, constants and variables must always have a value or reference stored inside them. If you try to run your code otherwise, the program will likely crash. Now, what if you needed to signal that the value or reference to an object may or may not exist? That it is absent and not yet defined? Well, this is where optionals come into play. Optionals indicate that a variable either has a value and it equals x, or there is no value at all and it is empty. In such cases, the optional will return a value of nil. Nil is a special literal that tells Swift that a value is absent. So instead of the absence leading to undesirable patterns in your code or a crash in your program, Swift recognizes the optional as a safeguard for an undefined value or for a situation where certain outcomes can't be guaranteed. If this sounds a bit complicated, you can think of optionals as a wrapper used to hold something, like chocolate, for instance. So, either the wrapper has chocolate in it or it's empty. In the Swift programming language, optionals are wrappers that hold specific types. This means that you can wrap an instance in an optional to hold a value, or leave it empty. In essence, optionals help developers create better domain models that can handle cases where certain relationships or associations may not be present at a given time. Now, the next two concepts you will become more familiar with as you progress through this lesson are called forced unwrapping and optional binding. Forced unwrapping allows you to extract a value from an optional, while optional binding describes the process of determining if the optional contains a value, making it safe to use as a temporary constant or variable. This video provided you with an introduction to optionals on a foundational level. You will find that the upcoming lesson items provide a more in-depth view on how optionals are declared, unwrapped, and used in Swift. For now, all you need to remember is that optionals help developers like you make your code safer and more expressive by signaling to Swift that the value of a variable may be absent.